Hey guys, Disloader Magic here. It is 1:39 a.m. and I really didn't want to be making these, but apparently Wizards spoiled or leaked or I don't really know, but some more cards came out from M19 and you're going to know what I mean when I throw up the first one. Here. What is this and where did it come from? I'm sure it's like Reddit or something or some Twitter thing going around or just, I don't care. It's almost 2 a.m. Some jackass must have taken a cell phone shot of him or something and doesn't know the first thing about lighting or Photoshop. Hey, speaking of Photoshop, you're welcome. Now, I meant these to look extremely bold and readable, not realistic. It's not like, oh, I fixed it, guys, and you're like, wow, he massacred that. No, I just wanted to make them readable. So this appears to be a rare 6 cost that's double green for generic prodigious growth. It is actually not a reprint, and it says enchant creature. It is an enchantment aura. And enchanted creature has, I believe it's +7/+7 and has trample. So, boy, you're really putting it all on one creature. I mean, with Blackblade and Forebear's Blade out there, I just don't like this card. I mean, obviously, I like +7/+7 and trample. It's just one removal spell, one fatal push, and you just lost a creature plus a 6 cost enchantment. But hey, main phase, throw this on a creature, go to combat, swing with it. Boom. I mean, it's quick. Just 7 damage ain't gonna end the game. It's probably gonna take multiple swings, maybe. Otherwise, if you're that close to winning, an ambush boost spell as an instant speed would probably be a little bit more appropriate. So overall, I don't think I'll be putting this in any deck, but it does look pretty fun for limited. Any kind of like draft or seal, this looks like a riot. Next up, Apex of Power, as I like to call it, dark shadowy crap. But that's only until you use the power of imagination. Just kidding, I use Photoshop. So this is Apex of Power. It's a 10 cost sorcery. Why? I literally have not read the card yet, and I'm going to say Jaya's Inferno is better. Okay, so it says, exile the top 7 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may cast non-land cards exiled this way. If the spell was cast from your hand, add 10 mana of any one color. Okay, so it's not a full free cast. It is limited to 10 combined mana that you can spend on the stuff. And it does say cast, not play, so lands are already out. Boy, you don't really get your value's worth for 10 mana. I mean, just imagine this was blue and it was draw 7 for 10. Then you can at least cast them over the next 3 turns. This is only the top 7 cards and only until the end of turn. And then they're gone. And somebody can still, counterspell it because they're actually being cast. I mean, the only upside is you can feed a value into X, I guess. I mean... Now, what's more interesting here is the flavor text is "As I desire, so it be." Nicol Bolas, and he's on the artwork casting some big old thing. Looks like when he tried to do that thing with the conflux. I'm not Saibon. I never will be. So we do know that Nicol Bolas is doing a thing in this set. It's just, is it historic or future? Because I mean, this almost looks like the end of the 3 Ravnica sets right here. So I'm going to say this actually might be the storyline from Conflux right here. Wizards had released a statement, I can't refind it, and it says something about, like this will explore the origins and the history of Bolas and what led up to the current events. So I think this already happened. I think all the references to Bolas already happened. But the most important thing about this card, and I cannot stress this enough, this is huge. This is the garbage red mythic. Remember, every set has a garbage red mythic. This is it. You're seeing it right in front of your eyes. Next up, Sigiled Sword of Valoran. Okay, let's do it. Boy, I am not sure about many of these details. I sharpened it up the best I can, and I'm looking at a full res version of it, expanded 4/1 with a noise reduction filter, but, boy, looks like a 3 cost, artifact equipment, and what does that say? It honestly looks like equipped inmates, but I'm going to say it probably says creatures, or creature. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has vigilance, and is a knight in addition to its other types. Oh boy, guys, they're expanding the knight tribal. That's great, except that was battle bond, which isn't legal in standard. Whoopsies, somebody forgot to tell them that. And then it says, whenever equipped creature, I'll say attacks maybe, create a maybe 2/2 white knight token, maybe with vigilance, and there's no way I'm reading that equip cost. There actually was an equipment just like this in Standard recently. I don't remember what it was, but like every time you swung or whatever, you created a token. Unless I'm just thinking of that Oresco's cat thing. I don't know. But I mean, the whole card, it looks good. It flows. I mean, it depends what the equip cost is. It could be as high as like 4 or 5, who knows. But it's +2/+2 and Vigilance. And then you get a swing bonus, which that all just kind of works together. I love it. This will be insane at the pre-release, by the way. Absolutely crazy. Next up, we've got Vinemare. Thanks, MythicSpoiler.com. I assume they're the ones who did that original edit. Speaking of edits, I don't know why we have part of this card. I mean, I really don't know the source of this leak. I have no idea. This is an elemental something, creature something. Don't know what it costs. It's green. It says hexproof. Hello, finally a naturally hexproof creature. Then there's a reminder text, and then it says, Vinemare can't be, and then honestly, it looks like blocked. And then something creatures. Maybe it can't be blocked by creatures? That doesn't even make sense. What else would block it? Like an artifact creature is still a creature. So I don't know. Maybe it's like green creatures. I mean, there's not a lot of room on that line though. And I have no idea what the bottom says. So I don't know. Let's just skip this one. We don't have enough information. It's very interesting though. A naturally hexproof creature. I haven't seen that in forever. Or at least not a reasonably costed one. And who knows what this costs. So I mean, you know, Plated Crusher is great too. Next up, I believe this is one of the ones from the Planeswalker deck. They did spoil some of those. Riddle Master Sphinx. It's a 6-cost 5/5 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield, you may return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. You know, nothing too special. It's just kind of nice. I mean, it's not a cheap, like, Reflector Mage doesn't jam it. Nothing too complex. It's just nice. I mean, it doesn't have haste, but like maybe it'll win you the game. But then you've also got a 5/5 flying creature you're not using if you were about to win the game by getting one creature out of the way. And there's versions of Unsummon out there right now. So I don't know. It's just kind of like good, but not really. Next up, Gravewalker. I think this is one of the Planeswalker deck ones. I don't care. I want to go to bed. This is a 5/5 for 6 flyer. So this is probably the counterpart. It's a giant ghost vulture. So that's wonderful. And you can pay 7, which is nice, and return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So there is, you know, tap, so even if it had haste, doesn't really help you. Can't block, can't really use it till the next turn, can't use the tapped ability. Honestly, it seems fair. I mean, if you look at like Sphinx of Magosi, you would pay, what, like 4, I think, once it was finally out, which I think it cost 6, and draw a card and put a 1/1 counter on the Sphinx. I mean, the game was over if you had that much like lack of control in your opponent's hand mixed with like that board presence and that much mana. It seems powerful, but it's like whatever. And in the Planeswalker deck, what is it possibly going to resurrect? So next up, Serra's Guardian. You know that anybody who would be hired as the bodyguard of Serra is going to be super badass. We've got a 5/5 for 6 flyer. Wow, seems to be a theme. Vigilance, wonderful, and other creatures you control have Vigilance. So it's like almost miniature Always Watching, except half the benefit. I mean, drop it in and swing away. I mean, in the right deck, yeah, I like it. It's just, it's basic. It's not like, whoa, astonishing or earth-shatteringly good. It's just, yeah, all right, it's neat. Next up, and I do believe this is the 4th one from the Planeswalker deck. Kind of makes you wonder what color mix is there. That's kind of weird. Aggressive Mammoth. It's an 8/8 for 6 with triple green. That seems steep, but I mean, I'll just say it's 50% green, which in a 2-color deck is at least what you would have normally. It has Trample, which is huge, and other creatures you control have Trample. This really reminds me of Archetype of Endurance, except that's an 8-cost 6/5 that has Hexproof and gives all your creatures Hexproof, which is the green archetype. It's not really Archetype of Aggression either, so I don't know. I guess there's no perfect equivalent, but it just seems familiar for some reason. It's not actually a reprint, though, so I don't know. Next up, we've got Vivian's Invocation. I don't know who that is. So it's a 7-cost sorcery, so, you know, good luck. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Ouch. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. When a creature is put on the battlefield this way, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. Wow, a free pseudo-force fight without repercussions or strike back or whatever you want to call it. Real one-sided fight, and, you know, you can't control, to an extent, what's up there. I mean, there was, like, Ultra Scry, Nissa, and Vizier of the Menagerie and all that, but, like, I don't know. It'd be hard to basically stack your deck to know what's there. Are you going to put in all bombs just to cast this? And then if you had 7, why don't you just cast the creature yourself? So it would almost just go in, like, a pure ramp deck, where it's just a curve ramp, just straight up. That said, it would be pretty fun in that deck, so... yeah, I mean, I could see you know, dropping this and then winning the game because of it. maybe next turn. So next up, and this is very interesting, we've got Patient Rebuilding. And I don't care what this card does. Let's look at the artwork, because anything bolus and story related, I am so into that. I'm even more into this than Magic the Amateuring is into fat men in, what do they call those, halter tops, dancing to Whitney Houston. I feel like I shouldn't need to say this, but that's a specific reference. If you haven't seen that video on my channel, what the hell is wrong with you? Do you hate memes or do you just hate fun? Anyway, the reflection in the bottom pool there is the Hour of Devastation horns, and it looks like some kind of pyramids and all that stuff. And then, is he rebuilding Amonkhet? Did he go revisit Amonkhet? I thought this whole M19 wasn't supposed to progress the storyline. I thought it was supposed to be in the past, not the future. But maybe it's part past and future. And will it even have a storyline? I don't remember. Did M14 have a storyline? Or what was the last one? Did we have an M15? I actually don't remember or care. So many questions. Okay, so question number 1 is, what the hell does this do? So it's an enchantment. It costs 5. Better be good for that then. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent... What? Puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. Okay, mill card, I guess. Then you draw a card for each land card put into the graveyard this way. Okay, so on average, with, you know, roughly 1/3 of people's decks being land, you would get 1 extra card draw per turn, and you're also milling them out. And if they have some kind of scry, you just ruined it. And yeah, I mean, okay. It's not like astonishing, but it looks like the type of card that would go in a very specific deck. But it's going to have to be damn good and damn important because it costs 5. I mean, that's, you know, that's up there. I mean, that said, though, you could drop 1 or 2 of these directly into blue-white control right now. So, I don't know. Next up, okay, somebody at Wizards has an unhealthy obsession with dinosaurs. Clearly. It's ongoing, and I think they need help at this point because we've got... the Gigantosaurus, which I could have sworn was one of those ones that they found out was fake. Like in real life, like the fossil was faked. Anyway, it's a 10/10 vanilla for 5. With the dinosaur cost reduction, this is going to get dangerous, but this is not even on the same planet as Galta. Literally, it's a different plane. I mean, I don't know who this Vivian Reed person is, but I don't think that they're from Ixalan necessarily, and that's who is the quote on the bottom. So, I mean, you could chump block this for days with a 1/1. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's a 10/10 for 5, but you basically cannot put this in a 2-color deck. It just can't be done. At a certain point, you're going to pull, we'll say, a plains, and it will do nothing to bring this out. You could run filters, but, like, why? Now, a lot of the dinosaur color fixing and ramp is like universal, multicolor, whatever, or it's at the very least green. So that's a little concerning, but I mean, the cost reduction doesn't work because there is no generic. So for the ramping part, it usually works, but for the actual cost reduction, it doesn't in any case that I can think of. So I don't know, honestly, and this is gonna, like, you know, rustle some jimmies here. I don't think this is a very good card. Now that said, oh my god, Green Devotion. Yes, somebody build that. Next up, okay, I should have looked ahead in my own folder. Vivian Reed, the person who's on all these cards. And she's got some spirit bears, maybe? Wolves? Is that just a really, really, like, thick boy tiger right there? Or a panther? Because, like, if that's a panther, that is a fat-ass panther. And if that's a bear, that's one panther-looking bear, okay? He's got, like, a panther face. Oh my god, that's maybe his trans species. Don't judge. Oh, and by the way, since everything, you know, gender, race, skin color is like the #1 most important thing to any character in all of Wizards, I'm going to comment on that. She appears to be a female. You know, I'm not going to misgender him, her, z, it, whatever, them, they. Just shut the hell up with all that stupid bullshit. And she appears to be biracial, half African-American, half elf. That just seems offensive saying it out loud, but they did it. Okay, the joke's going way too far. It's a 5 loyalty for 5, so, I mean, I like 4 better. +1 with a -8, so we're far from that. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it in your hand. What is this obsession with this, like, Turbo Scry crap? I mean, like, and it's all creatures. Like, this is... Coco was a disaster, okay? Let's just put it that way. Coco was an absolute shit fest. But that's mostly because it was like, it was totally free. Like, you could just drop in virtually anything. Half of these effects go to your hand. A couple of them, it looks like, go to your, like, directly to the battlefield. I don't know. Maybe this won't be as bad as I thought, but it's just, this effect honestly doesn't look good, but it has the potential to be just broken. And I don't like either one of those. So we'll see how it shapes up. It's way too early to be commenting on, oh, is this good for the meta? We need to see the rest of the cards, okay? Anyway, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay, who even does that? Who even cares? And who even calls over a judge if you don't do it? You're never going to see those cards again, okay? It doesn't need to be a random order. That's ridiculous. How do you randomize like 3 cards? Okay, that's just stupid. Oh, by the way, the most important thing about this is land. But then again, if you had 5 mana to get her out, do you really need that many more lands? But then again, Blackblade. So her -3, which she can clearly only do once right off the bat, is destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. I mean, that is flexible. -3 ain't no joke, but you really wouldn't want her doing it twice. That's a little broken. I mean, that's just too much control. Like, she'd never get to 8 after that, but I don't know. So her -8 is you get an emblem with creatures you control, get +2/+2, and have vigilance, trample, and indestructible. Why doesn't it just say, screw it, your opponent forfeits? Because that's what happens. I mean, I guess you could drop like the mother of all settle the wreckage nukes on the person to the point where their head might actually burst into flames spontaneously the second it hits the table. And I guess seal away too. But other than that, like, this is pretty bad. But it'll take you a while to get to -8. So, I mean, I think it's appropriately powered. By the way, anybody notice that the number on the bottom says out of 280? That's really big. They kind of really said they're not doing that. Could have sworn Mark said they're all going to be mid-size. That would be considered pretty darn hefty. Just like that. Morbidly obese panther in the artwork. Okay, what else we got? Judgment Infernal. Is that an Eldrazi? And why is that demon so big? Oh my god, I didn't realize this wasn't in English until right now, and I closed the tab. Okay, let's really poorly translate this from fake Spanish, or as other people call it, Portuguese. Oh, that'll trigger some people. So it's 1 cost, I guess, enchantment, or ephemerae. Wait, there's 2 different directions of accent marks? How do you do that? I think it's ephemerae. I don't know. Well, ephemeral and enchantment have 2 completely different, like, Latin. Anyway, exile les. I bet that's exile. Okay, let's just read it. Exile a creature incolore sibile. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, if I had to guess, I'm going to say colorless. I'm not going to reopen the tab. Go open it up your damn self if you're so damn interested. So exile a colorless creature. You gain a... Oh, that's number, not name. I was like, you gain a name? That'd be cool. No, you gain a number of points of life equal to its power. Okay, that was easy, but I have like no idea what the flavor text says. It's maybe of that which intrudes something Zendikar. Okay. Something world of you. So you come into my world of Zendikar, I will rid it of you. Kind of supports the idea that that's an Eldrazi in his hand, so... Is this going to be the loose end set where it's like, hey, there's still some Eldrazi left on Zendikar, and so the demons are cleaning them up, and it'll be like a bonus preview of Return to Zendikar in the future or something? That'd be kind of cool. Or is this supposed to be something that happened while the Eldrazi were there and they were just fighting? That'd be boring. I don't remember 50-foot tall demon in the storyline, okay? I also didn't read the storyline. Oh, gee, I forgot to say the name of the card. Take a guess. Oh, bien, gracias a Dios, esta es o último. I'm sure that was pronounced correctly. So that's it for now. Just kidding, it totally isn't. I just, like I said, don't care about the uncommons or the commons. They're mostly reprints, or they're low-powered, or I don't know, it's kind of a low-powered filler set. It does good things to the meta. Nobody gets excited about it and doesn't sell well. And it's usually a really low EV, so... I guess it's Ixalan and Amonkhet then. Now that I think about it, you know what? It probably can't do worse than those. So what do you think of all these crazy cards so far? It looks like just some fun stuff. Nothing's like, well, that's broken. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it looks like it'll be just an absolute riot to go to the pre-release for this or even draft it. So I'm really looking forward to that from what I've seen so far. And from the earlier common and uncommon leaks that we've seen, yeah, they lazy it out on the artwork, but who cares? I mean, the less money they spend, I'd say the less we have to pay. No, it doesn't really change the price of the product, but I'm sure in some way we're saving money, maybe. I don't know. Probably not. In fact, they're really just paying the artist less money. But the point is, some of my favorite cards are in there. That's usually how it works with reprint sets. So I'm looking forward to it. So, here's some metal for no reason.